Darth Vader, he's not the kind of person. He's not that boss that's like, listen, I'm going to give you some kudos here, or I'm gonna
No.
make you Employee of the Month next year. He's like, you get this job done or you die. Like it's one of
Yeah.
those things. And Darth really showed why he is the big baddie in Star Wars.
Hello there, and welcome to the movie podcast spoiler-filled discussion of Obi-Wan Kenobi Episode 3. My name is Daniel, and joining me today on my Jedi Council is Shahbaz.
Hello there.
And Anthony.
I don't want to be a Jedi. I'm a Sith.
Yeah, I was gonna say Anthony's not.
This
a
is
Jedi.
the Sith Council?
Anthony's he's an undercover Sith.
I wanted to be on the council, and you said no, so I joined the Sith. That's it.
You and Anakin.
There are so many great callbacks in this episode, so I'm excited to talk all about them. But yeah, what a blessing the show has been already. We're 3 episodes in, and already, okay, if you didn't know already, like I said at the top of the show, this is full on spoilers from here on out. So if you're listening,
100%.
You're not safe. This is full on spoilers for the show. Safe from the show. Like we're already getting Darth Vader showing up. We're getting Darth Vader and Obi-Wan squaring up already. There is so much happening in the show. Yeah, I feel like Anthony would be like, he'd be like brother, third brother, or like first brother or something like that. He'd have like
father. He'd be father.
He'd be father. He'd be first father.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a great show this has been. We're so excited to talk more about it. But let's get all the housekeeping out of the way. As always, you can catch a brand new episode of the Movie Podcast every single Monday. And watch out throughout the week for review episodes and discussions just like this one and all the latest movies and series. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, on Twitter, TikTok. Where else are we? Twitter, Letterboxd, everywhere. And don't forget to leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Join our Discord and write into the show on all of those services, and our email. Sorry, my mind's going a mile a minute. I got to slow down. Hello at TheMoviePodcast.ca. You can check out our show notes for all of those links and more. I also want to ask you guys, how are you doing? Shay, I'm going to get you to start us off.
You know, I've been doing great. Like I mentioned before, I got back from California, and now I'm just kind of there's been some COVID at my actual house, so I've been kind of like living like a nomad a little bit. But luckily, like my girlfriend has been very kind to like keep me sheltered for now while I figure out when I can go back home. So I'm excited to stop living out of my suitcase and start living in my room.
Anthony and I both said no to you, so that also makes sense why you feel like.
Well, when I said, "Hey guys, I need somewhere to live," you guys said, "Yeah, we all do."
Don't.
And I was like,
"Don't we all?"
Yeah, all right.
There's a hole in the near my backyard that you can live in.
Oh, thank you. I don't want to go to where you live, Anthony. I'm not going to expose in the show how far you live, but they wouldn't want me there.
We wouldn't want you either.
Yeah. Wait, that's what I said though.
He's just affirming.
Yes. Okay. Good.
Your tone. Anthony, how are you doing though?
I'm doing well. It's just another day in the neighborhood. That's what we
without Shay.
Yeah, another day in the neighborhood gatekeeping Shay.
That's what we Sith say when there's nothing happening. But yeah, no, it's just been busy. We've been doing a lot of episodes and getting content out. So I'm glad we have this episode and more to come. So.
Yeah, it's crazy. This is the first time that we're really seeing, Star Wars content or Star Wars shows, and now Miss Marvel starting next week. We're going to really start to see them overlapping. So I'm hoping that Disney in the future, or Disney Plus, starts either releasing on different days throughout the week or releasing at different times, just because there is so much to talk about. But of course, today we are talking all about Episode 3 of Obi-Wan Kenobi. We're going to talk all about our spoiler-filled our review. Let's break down this episode. Let's discuss what happened, and let's discuss kind of our theories of where the show is going. So we are picking immediately up where we left off last week. Obi-Wan and Leia are now on a mining planet, and they're just kind of traveling, trying to get back to Alderaan, right? Like Obi-Wan is just trying to get Leia back safely, but he's also being hunted by everyone. This episode also starts off with such a great moment of just seeing Darth Vader suiting up. We get a great suit up sequence. Anthony, you're Vader fan number 1. I think that was your MSN name as well too. Growing up, how excited are you to see Vader return and seeing Anakin return?
Super excited. The opening montage of him being built and being, I guess, created into the Darth Vader suit is super interesting because we don't we don't really see that before. We saw him be put together, but this is a different put together. This is like the arms, the legs, the chest
Yeah.
respirator, everything to right to the mask. And we get to see or hear that James Earl Jones is back doing the voice. And that's, I think,
He
one of the
is.
biggest things that we were curious about was, what does Hayden bring to the table? And we really don't know yet. I think we see glimpses of it, but we really don't know what he brings, because anyone could be underneath that mask. And James
Right.
Earl does the voice. We weren't going to expect Hayden to do a James Earl type of
It's just
Darth
Hayden's
Vader.
doing the voice now, just his normal voice.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I don't think we want that.
but that was pretty cool. And to understand like the relationship with Reva's relationship with Darth Vader, because that's kind of that opening segment of, you know, what is she to him? And I know there's a lot of
Right.
like rumors going out. I think I remember watching, I forgot the video, the Rock Stars.
New rock stars.
New
yeah.
Rock Stars, yeah. And they said that, you know, Reva could be a youngling during that opening intro to
From episode 1.
from episode 1, and that she has
Yeah.
some sort of, you know, she was believed to be manipulated by the Jedi, and Vader somehow told her that, you know, the Jedi are bad and what we are doing is good. And you see it a lot with the whole like the Jedi have left you type of thing.
Right.
So
And
yeah,
you know,
that was
we've
pretty
seen
cool.
that, you know, like we've seen the Jedi way lead so many people astray throughout all of different Star Wars, you know, shows and movies, and you know, it's not the way of life for everybody. And I think when you see like, especially with Anakin's case, when we're going back to episode 3, like the actual movie, like, or Revenge of the Sith, um, you see that all he wants is like for Padme to be safe, right? And that's kind of the lore that brings him there. But now we're picking up 10 years later from that, and now Obi-Wan, who has, you know, cut himself off from the Force, very, you know, reminiscent to kind of what Luke did in The Last Jedi. You're just seeing this guy who's just, you know, broken, and just who's been out in the desert and just trying to find his way. And again, we get another. There's Qui-Gon Jinn has to show up in this series. Like, they are teasing him so much. We heard Yoda's voice today too. We heard and Qui-Gon's voice. Like, you know, we're hearing all of these Jedi voices in his head, or they're haunting him in his sleep. Someone's got to show up at some point in the series and just appear as a Force ghost, because we know Force ghosts are a thing.
Yeah.
So someone's got to show up. Other than Qui-Gon, who do you think is going to show up to him and be like, "Yo, what's up?"
I mean, I guess you could technically have Yoda, who's already
Yeah.
been kind of established. I would love to see Mace Windu. Like,
Oh
I
my
told you.
God.
I told you.
But we
wasn't
don't
ready.
we don't know if he's dead. Like there's this idea
Mace?
that he's still alive. Yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely those rumors out there, and I mean, in Star Wars, is anyone truly ever dead? Right? Like, that's the other
Right.
question too.
Could you
Yeah.
imagine if this like series ends and it's like kind of like a Boba Fett thing, and you picks up with like Mace Windu and then announces what like, you know how Boba Fett was announced as a
Yeah,
series
right.
as the post-credit scene? Like, the post-credit scene is just Mace Windu being like, "I'm back." And there's just
All
a
I
purple
want-
lightsaber.
All I want is just the
God.
glow of the purple lightsaber, and then that's it. And then you're like,
Be amazing.
oh, he's
It'd
back.
be amazing. But I love the relationship between Obi-Wan and Leia. And they pick up. Was that? Sorry, I didn't. I literally totally forgot to check the credits. Was that Seth Rogen?
No, it was actually Zach Braff, but it did sound like
Zach
Seth
Braff?
Rogen. Yeah, it did sound like Seth Rogen.
Wow. As what's his name?
Freck.
Freck.
Dude,
Yeah,
I
'cause
started
kept-
laughing when he showed up. He
Oh,
had
yeah,
little,
I
little
100%
tentacly
thought-
things coming out of his mouth. I'm like, oh, he's such
And
a
That
nice
was
dude.
Zach Braff, eh?
He was an ugly looking dude, though.
He
Yeah.
was, dude. I was waiting for him to laugh, like, like I was waiting for him to do the Seth Rogen laugh.
Yeah.
I mean, this sounds so much like Seth Rogen, but I
Yeah.
guess it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I didn't watch the credits, but I did look it up to see who it was, and it said Zach Braff. So if someone did watch the credits, they probably have more information than we do. But yeah, Zach Braff also seems like it's in line with something that Zach Braff would do. So
Right.
I believe it.
But it was cool. You know, I love that ride of them trying to escape, and they're on Freck's like whatever van or like pickup truck that they jump onto, just because it just feels so much like different, you know, like Children of Men, Last of Us. Like, it has that vibe of like these two people are not where they're supposed to be, and they're trying to get the hell out of here. And I love that Leia, of course,
Oh,
all in the vein of just so Carrie Fisher, just does not listen to anyone, does whatever she wants. She goes off on her own way, which she kind of atones for later in the episode. But I just love that, she's not listening to Obi-Wan. She's like, no, I'm gonna do my own thing, and then she kind of gets them on their way. And I love that they right away. She's like, yeah, my name's Lola,
No,
and
Luma,
Lu- Loma,
Luna or
something like that,
Luma. Yeah.
Luma. And then
Lamu-
Obi-Wan was oh my god, I'm blanking on the name that he gave him. But yeah, they all have like
Orden, I think
different.
it was like Orden or something like that.
Yeah, they had just different names, and I like that they were just trying to cover each other's tracks while also just kind of being real with each other too, because
Yeah.
like it's like, oh, that was her mother. Oh, when he kind of slips and calls her Leia,
Yeah.
oh, that was her mother's name. I get confused. I'm like, oh, like that was hitting. Like those were tugging the heartstrings there.
And before that, there was that sequence of like the mirage of Anakin, where he's
Yeah.
like he witnesses him, because I'm gonna call him Ben Obi-Wan. He has tremendous guilt of everything that has happened since execution of Order 66. Like from Return of the Sith, he's on this path of like just guilt. He has nightmares. He sees Anakin. He sees like his brother that is not who he thought was dead, but now is alive. And later on in the show, we'll see him actually see the Vader persona, and that was really cool because we don't really get to see Obi-Wan in this grounded version of Star Wars. It just feels so real. Like we've only known Obi-Wan as the extravagant Star Wars character that he's been in, but like this is the most
Right.
grounded we'll see, and it's so weird to take a legacy character that we're so used to and put him in a world like this. It just makes Star Wars so much better compared to everything else that we've gotten.
It's so cool seeing like just like the different actors that they have showing up. Like we said, obviously Zach Braff, and it's just so funny seeing like Sung Kang as fifth brother as well too. Like I'm just waiting for him to like steal like a land speeder and just start drifting in it. You know what I mean? Just on his back. But no, yeah. So yeah, even before before they even meet Freck, you're starting to see some of the tension building in this episode as well, which I like with Obi-Wan and Leia. And like Obi-Wan just kind of scolds her and saying like, people aren't all good, Leia. And like it's like that's a moment that I kind of like I got my back straight. Like when something kind of takes you off guard, and like this person is taking care of you, but they're also now you could tell that there's something more behind their words. And he's just realizing like Obi-Wan, who was always that person that saw the good in people and thought that he could bring Anakin back, he's kind of atoning for that now, because he's realizing Anakin has lost his way. He has the guilt, like Anthony was saying, and he's saying like people aren't all good. And then also, it broke my heart when they were on that pickup truck in the desert, and like Leia asked, like, "Are you my real father? Like, is it you?" And he's like, "I wish it was." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Man, so good, so good. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about Third Sister and Darth Vader. So there's a bunch of stuff going on here. Third Sister is trying to prove herself to Darth Vader, and it's just so cool seeing Darth Vader in anything Star Wars in live action right now.
Right.
Shay, what did you think of what's going on with Third Sister? Do you have any theories of where it's going to go? Obviously, there's some competitive rivalry between Third Sister and Fifth Brother. So what's going on?
I definitely see like some sort of a battle that happens between Third Sister and Fifth Brother. Like definitely she's gonna have to kill him, because he makes that infamous line that you should never make in a movie. I'm gonna get what I deserve, and then you know what, he's gonna die, and then that's what he deserves in that moment. What I loved about this episode though was that relationship between Third Sister and Darth Vader. It's she just really wants to, I guess, prove herself to him and really get to a point where like I guess she feels validated in whatever she's doing. And Darth Vader, he's not the kind of person, he's not that boss that's like, listen, I'm going to give you some kudos here, or I'm going to make you employee of the month next year. He's like, you get this job done or you die. Like it's one of those things. And Darth really showed why he is the big baddie in Star Wars in this episode. He was just killing innocent people left and right, straight up murdering. Like time hasn't skipped, and I think what the prequels did to a character like Darth Vader or Anakin, I guess, is people didn't believe that someone like Anakin could actually turn out to be that evil, but seeing him as Darth, it makes sense. Like,
Hmm.
all of that is immediately put to rest. You know that this guy is pure evil. Hayden Christensen, I'm curious to see, is it just the fact that he's in a suit? Because I mean, Darth Vader was always played by just a stuntman or an actor in a suit with James Earl Jones's voice. What is Hayden going to bring to the series, like you mentioned, Anthony? Because I don't think they're going to be spending much time with him without a mask, or anything like that. And
Right.
maybe we'll get some flashbacks of Hayden appearing like a mirage or in some form like Obi saw. But I don't know. I don't know where this can go, and I'm really excited because there's 3 episodes left, and this is one of those series where I'm like, I kind of wish this was 9 episodes. There's so much story I kind of want them to keep pushing forward with.
Hmm.
There's a lot. Anthony, where are you at right now with how Darth Vader's, how we've seen him? We're gonna talk a bit as as that's kind of happened. Now he's in the village, and as Jay was saying, he's just slaughtering people. He snaps the neck of that person
Yeah.
with the Force, and like he is just terrifying. And this is also a younger Vader, obviously, right? This is a younger Vader that before we saw him in A New Hope or anything later down the road. This is a Vader who's very angry. He is now hunting Obi-Wan. Where are you at with Vader right now?
Yeah, you clearly see that Vader has nothing left in his life. There, no Padme, no kids. He doesn't even have the body that he had before. So he's lost a lot, and you can see it in how he's so ruthless with the people that are around him, killing them instantly, like just no remorse. Like this guy has no regard for anything. He is a killing machine, and you feel for him too. You feel for the character because it's such a you know Anakin was such a good person, and then he becomes this Vader. This is super sad and tragic to have a guy like that turn into something so ruthless. And
Right.
the connection between Vader and Obi-Wan, when Vader lands on the on this in the planet with Mapozo mining system,
Yeah.
he feels it. He's drawn to that power. Like they're drawn together, and you can see in Obi-Wan's eyes that he's sad that this is his friend. There was that sequence where he says to him, "What have you become?" And he looks at him and says, "I am what you've made me." And that says a lot because Obi-Wan did this to him. Vader did this to himself, and it's just like this tragic, never-ending um, sadness between the two.
Yeah, that moment you just see. I think again, kudos to Ian McGregor's just acting in this whole series so far, but especially in this moment, seeing him looking out through the one of the like the safe house that they're in, and just seeing Darth Vader marching down, and like knowing that that's Anakin. This is the first time that he's seeing him,
Hmm.
and realizing like, oh my god, this was like someone that I once called brother, and now he is just full on gone, unrecognizable. And I love that Vader. It's almost like he's toying with Obi-Wan when he's kind of walking down and causing all that destruction. If I feel like he knew he was there and he was causing all this destruction to bait him out, right?
Hmm.
Like, didn't you guys kind of get that vibe that he's doing
100%.
it as a way to get Obi-Wan to come
If
out,
you if
right?
he really is a Jedi and he wants to save the people, come and show yourself.
Yeah.
Protect these people that you have here right now.
So the reason why we're on this planet, obviously, Kumail Nanjiani's character, who we met last week, set them on their path to meet
Haji.
Haji, to meet Tala. So we meet Tala. Tala meets them. She's dressed as like in a Empire uniform, and I love seeing Obi-Wan, take down all the stormtroopers, and that stormtrooper who fell down the
Yeah.
laser like
Choppy,
That
choppy.
gate.
gates. Yeah, just straight in half. I'm like, that was so cool to see that.
I
But yeah,
did laugh though when he was trying to turn off the gate. I'm like, just walk around it.
yeah.
Like, it's just a little gate. Like,
Yeah,
there's a
he's like,
little
no, I'm
area.
gonna shoot it. So
Yeah.
uncivilized, so uncivilized. But yeah, we meet up with Tala. Tala kind of takes them on their way and shows them, the different safe house and how she's been helping different Jedi. We get a name drop of Quinlan, who
Quinlan
is
Voss.
who is another Jedi who we met in the Clone Wars show. And yeah, so it's cool. Like, again, we're just kind of establishing that this world, everything that's happened, obviously we know is canon, but it's cool getting these name drops in the series and the films, right? So we see that, and he kind of tells Leia to go on her way with Tala, and then we get the confrontation for the first time between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan,
Hmm.
and it's awesome. Like I didn't expect Obi-Wan to, like, I'm glad. I knew he was going to pull out his lightsaber, but like because he didn't pull it out right away, it's only when he saw Darth Vader and he kind of like shuffled away, then he pulled it out. Like it just hit so hard seeing that.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
that blue glow.
And you can see it in Obi-Wan's
Yeah.
face, like he's scared. It's not that
Yeah,
he
of
just like
course.
he's scared because he is not who he used to be. B, he's scared because this is the first time he's seen his, friend or the person that he loved so much. And
Yeah.
then C, that this is this is Darth Vader, this is that menacing character that showcases his power in such a ruthless form that it
Right.
probably puts him in a fear into him.
Definitely.
Now that we're getting so much backstory, obviously, on Anakin and Obi-Wan's relationship, how do you guys feel about their confrontation now in New Hope? I mean, it always has been underwhelming, with one swipe, Obi-Wan kind of disappears. But do you think that it kind of now really makes that moment feel like, oh, it should have been bigger, it should have been better, that moment?
I mean, like they're both older men in A New Hope, right? They're both older guys. So we get a good big blowout in this episode, but I don't think this is the last time. Obviously, they're going to square off in this
No.
series.
Right.
But yeah, I'm feeling. I feel like there's a lot more connective tissue now, which is nice. It's the same way when we watched Rogue One. I'm like, this is just nice, world building. And I think this is so cool about Star Wars now is that we could tell these stories, expand on the universe, and learn more about these characters in a long series form that we don't have the time to really do in a movie. It's the same thing that we spoke about like in the MCU. Like when you look at WandaVision, how do you make that a movie? You
Hmm.
can't, but it works in a show.
Hmm.
So it's cool seeing Obi-Wan being able to get like develop as a character, meeting Leia, kind of those are the kind of questions that I like being answered, where it's like, oh, this is why Leia knows who Obi-Wan is or knows to call him Ben.
Yeah.
Or this is like, the confrontation between Darth Vader and um, Obi-Wan, that's going to have more context now when you watch A New Hope because of this. And that's what I find this show's doing really well, where Solo, again, nothing against Solo, like it wasn't our favorite, but it was answering questions that we didn't really need the answers for, where this show I think is it's deepening the series, and it's
Hmm.
deepening the mythology of the movies, I think.
Mm-hmm. I like now seeing it and getting just this perspective of the story. I think that Obi-Wan realizes that it's not him who needs to battle Darth Vader, Like I think he realizes there's still hope in Vader, and the only way to gain that hope is through Luke. That's why he just kind of, and this is me just speculating, this is him just kind of letting go and letting Luke be the person to take this character down, take Vader down,
Right.
and have some sort of redemption at the end. Because if it was just Obi-Wan, he's never going to get that. He left him for
Yeah.
dead. It's just a lot
Right.
of revenge on him for that. But I think Obi-Wan senses that Luke would be that character, or Leia, or one of the two would be the grounding force to bring redemption to such an
Right.
evil person.
For sure.
Because at this point, we know Darth Vader doesn't know that Luke or Leia exist,
Right.
right? They don't know that they are his children yet, right? So that
Mhm.
that's not found out until Empire Strikes Back,
Right.
where he finds out that information. I was just double checking that too. But man, what a fight between them!
Well,
Darth Vader, like this was dark as hell, man. Like he tried to set Obi-Wan on fire, man.
yeah.
That was so cool. Like such a great callback to Revenge of the
Mustafar.
Sith, right? Where like you're just like he wants to do to him what he feels Obi-Wan did to him,
You
right?
gave him that
Yeah.
Mustafar treatment,
Yeah, give him a Mustafar makeover.
Yeah.
The one thing that I always found weird about Vader is that he never recounts his past, right? Like you don't like he's Vader now. This is who he is, and he wasn't Anakin or things that have happened in the past. I feel like the previous films never really reflected what he knew of the past. So
Right.
things
Right.
like this where he draws out the flames, like I still remember you burned me, you caused me
Yeah.
to you hurt me. So it's like he still knows who he is. He's not hasn't lost those memories. I know it sounds weird for me to say like Why would
It's
Vader
not
just
at
No,
all.
it's not. It makes
It's
total
not, no.
sense.
But like he never he never references it because he's so like
Yeah, it
direct.
also wasn't written yet. That's why, right?
Right.
They didn't really expand Star Wars until the last 15, 16 years. We've had a lot more expansion in the backstories, right? So you're
Mhm.
100% right. Like this, and that's what I'm saying. This is making like those original films. I think it's enhancing them, where you're getting a lot more depth for these characters, and you're getting reasons. You're getting the answers for things that need, I think, more filling in of questions,
hmm
right?
And I thought the visuals were great. It's that sequence with Vader just staring through the fire, and they Deborah just set up the camera in such a way like you just felt like I wonder what he's thinking right now. Like
Yeah.
just over the shoulder, you see his black helmet, you see the fire just reflecting off the steel, I guess, of his armor, and it's just what are you thinking? Like what is going through this mind of his? Because you keep thinking of
He's like,
Anakin, you keep thinking of like this is a good kid. Like what are you doing?
Yeah.
he's just
We
thinking,
see Anakin,
burn.
right? Like we see as the audience members, and that's what's so powerful, and that's what's so damn good about Deborah Chow's direction is that we're looking at Vader, but we're seeing Anakin. And
Yeah.
I think that's what's so powerful about the shows because it really is a sequel to Revenge of the Sith. We are seeing Vader, but we're seeing Vader as Anakin. Whereas in the movies, we only ever see Darth Vader as Darth Vader. But like, there's such a nuance now to his performance, and there's an extra layer there. For now, when we're seeing him, we're seeing this is a real person. This is not just an unstoppable, Sith force coming at us, right?
We need a Deborah Chow trilogy of films.
Oh, I'm down for it.
Minimum.
I'm down for it. Where do you guys think we go from here? So this episode ends with Leia, with Leia going to meet a pilot to get her off planet, but it turns out that it's Reva, and she's pretending to be the pilot who she was going to meet, and Leia kind of gets the idea. Yeah, did you just kill that guy on the floor, by the way? Because he's
Is
still
that the
on
real
fire.
pilot?
Yeah. And then Obi-Wan just kind of on the planet. Where does Obi-Wan leave?
I mean, he's
off
kind of
this
hurt
episode?
right now. I think he's a little
He's
burnt up.
He's a little,
little
he's a little
burnt up.
crispy.
Yeah.
A little crispy.
A little crispy. So I'm assuming Tala's going to find him.
Yeah.
Well, she did find
where
him,
do we
right?
go? Did she find him at the end? Man,
She did.
Like, I'm just.
Yeah.
She did.
She
yes.
did
So
find him.
my-
She
so
did
my
like
brain
rescue
fart
them,
there.
but like he's pretty much injured. He doesn't really like he's not aware of where he is or what's happening or even
Right.
what's happening with Leia. So they don't even know where Leia kind of
Right.
is. They just expect her to be on this plane with this dude or
Yeah.
this ship with this dude. So.
Which Obi-Wan's going to be pissed now because Tala promised, like, on your life, like take her
Yeah.
to
Mhm.
to Alderaan, right? So where do we go now? We're officially halfway through the series. Where's the next 3 episodes going to take us?
Well, I mean, Obi fixed Leia's
Lola.
droid, Lola. So, and I'm sure she still has that, unless I blanked out or forgot something.
No, she should still have it. Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully that will allow him to track her. I don't know. Am I thinking like a little too easy? But who knows? I mean, at the end of the day, at the end of that scene, sorry, all we see is Leia run and Reva kind of chase her. So I mean, in the first episode, I guess it was really hard for second episode. Sorry, it was hard for people to catch Leia when she's running. She's like Sonic,
Dude, Reva was just like jumping from one building to the next, like
Yeah.
no worries.
but she's gonna have trouble catching Leia. Maybe who knows? But let's
Those
see.
little
let's see.
legs.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see
little-
what they do in the next episode, where they pick up from.
Yeah. So I mean, Anthony, any thoughts of where the series is going to go? Are we going to get another big confrontation between Obi-Wan and Vader? Do we
Oh,
see
100%.
does Reva survive this series because she's now she may be an Inquisitor, or she's going to, like, I guess she technically kind of is an Inquisitor or will be made an Inquisitor,
Executive Inquisitor.
executive assistant to the Executive Inquisitor.
Clearly Obi's gonna. I like to call him Obi, but Obi is going to
OBI.
Obi. He's gonna learn that Leia is not where she's supposed to be. Go re-rescue Leia. My question is: does Reva somehow? How does she utilize Leia if she's captured? How does she use her against Obi-Wan? And does Vader ever find out, or is Vader ever connected to Leia in some sort of way where they pass by? Because I feel like if Vader passes Leia, he's gonna know, or maybe he won't.
Yeah,
Like, you never know.
Do we planet jump? Like, do we go to another planet? Like, what happens? Or do we stay on
I
here?
think we're going to see at this point the Death Star is being built. right? Like they're
Yeah.
already building the Death Star. So I don't know. We may be like on some type of like ship or wherever they
They
take
might
her.
have like a holding Death Star, like a
Yeah,
temporary pop up Death Star.
a pop up Death Star for
Yeah.
right now that they're gonna go to.
This is just our pain star. The Death Star is
Yeah,
being made
yeah.
soon.
Death Star's coming.
Yeah.
We'll see where it goes. But yeah,
It just
I
has-
mean,
it-
definitely we're going to see Obi-Wan fight off, square off against Riva
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
And then
And
we're going to see. I think we're going to see
Vader.
Darth Vader fight Riva as well too.
I wouldn't be surprised where Vader just kills Reva. Like I just feel like
Yeah, I
she's
can see it
gonna
happening.
do something that's gonna cause him to make a choice, and
Right.
because there's a sequence where she's inside the camp where she sees the Jedi stamp and she just snaps, right?
Right.
So there is some sort of connection there. Maybe Obi-Wan talks some sense into her. Maybe he has her realize what she's done and who Vader is and what the story is. And then Vader has to, take care of that.
Do you think that she could have been one of the do you think we go back to that scene where Anakin kills all the Padawans and Reva kind of goes in there and sees all the dead kids, and it's like she could be like, what the fuck? Like this is crazy. Like I feel like we're going to travel back. Like there's going to be a substantial flashback, I feel like, in this series where we're really going to go back to that Order 66 moment and spend more time on it.
Yeah, I think so too. I think there's some sort of callback to that, and Anakin and Reva have some sort of chat or conversation about what the Jedi were. I don't know why he doesn't kill her. That's where it kind of you're in that middle part, where that gray area,
right?
Like, why her? But we'll see.
There's something there. There's a lot. Again, the show's given us so much already with just 3 episodes. I cannot wait to see where the next 3 episodes go. Any final thoughts before we wrap up today's spoiler discussion? We are good.
I'm good.
We are all good. Make sure you tune in next week. We're going to continue with our weekly episodes of everything Obi-Wan Kenobi. Also, there's so much to listen to right now on the movie podcast. It's kind of crazy. We're going to have lots of interviews coming up in June. This is the first day of June. Happy Pride Month if you're listening to us in June of this month. Crimes of the Future review is out right now. We have a brand new episode out where we talk about everything that happened at Star Wars Celebration, the Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning trailer, all of that. And of course, all of the reviews and movies that we've been talking about. May was awesome to us with special guests. So make sure you go listen to everything we have on the feed. Anthony's been doing a great job of making videos of everything. So if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, do all of that fun stuff on YouTube. And we'll be back. And of course, as always, you can catch a brand new episode of the Movie Podcast every single Monday, and watch out throughout the week for our review episodes and all the latest movies and series. Make sure you follow us at The Movie Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Letterboxd. And don't forget to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Join our Discord and write into the show at hello@TheMoviePodcast.ca. Check out our show notes for all of those links and more. That was This Time with The Movie Podcast, and we'll see you next.